rings. All right, damage bonus. Okay. So I would show this, but I don't know. They put so many ads on the web now. Pentagon UFO office. I'll just tap into the energies of it. You can look it up. It's not much to really say about it, really. But either way, it's getting it's kind of heating up a little bit. Of course, all this UFO talks going on recently. It just seems to be. Doesn't mean this is the year of the alien as of yet, but it is picking up more than it has in the past, as I've mentioned before. So, and that crazy lady is on the plane and everything, and that might be a sign of things to come eventually. Of just basically the weird coming more into our reality, which we could use all we can get right now. Bring some life into this. Because it's kind of like the same old copy paste from last year and just the same old energies. At least we have some kind of eventful experience here. Instead of Tom Cruise dominating the headlines, and golly, man, it's like sci-fi, man. Whatever, I'm not going to go into that. So going to the Pentagon frequencies, obviously there's a shadow government energy connected to it. So this is like, not all both sides. I mean, obviously, Pentagon is technically a shadow government, technically, but there's different sides to it. There's like a public version, a shadow version, and probably just an underground version altogether. Of course, you hear about these stories of people connected to aliens and talking to a reptilian being, but there's no proof of it. So it's all hearsay. So, but of course, you never know where things are going right now. And of course, the alien energies comes through us as people become more bizarre. Yeah, so we'll just have to see how that goes. And some kind of creature was on that was videoed. I don't know if it was real or not, but it's kind of like a goblin type of creature. It was caught on video. Now, if it's real, it's another story. It could be, and also if it is real, it's just difficult to connect to its energies because they're kind of like, well, terrorists. So goblin energies obviously is the best vibration. So I can bring some of that energy through, but we'll just have to wait. I don't know. Goblins, yeah, there's, of course, it doesn't usually come up on my radar to even go into a goblin being, but of course, it's in Harry Potter. Oh, great. Yeah. Turn on the background. I can't hear it. Yeah. She wasn't messing with it. Well, actually, I think she was messing with it earlier today. So it kind of screws up the energy when she messes with that. Of course, she just went nuts. So that background noise, that's her. That's Priscilla back there. So anyway, going to the goblin energies. Yeah, it's a weird. Of course, it's in Harry Potter. But some of them can be very mischievous beings. Bald. Just manipulative. You can see that being in what was it? War of the Rings. Gollum. There's a bit of a goblin energy. So we'll see what we get with that. And also the sentient world simulation. Man, she's going to town over Just basically just or you can say Earth, another version of Earth. Of course, there's somewhere in our government. I could be wrong. It feels like so obviously, yeah. They tap into another version of Earth or several versions. Definitely one other version for sure. Now, how well that connection goes is another story, or how deep that goes. Be careful what you ask for on that one. I mean, if you go like you meet like it's one thing alien energies, but then you talk about connecting to another version of Earth, and they can actually show you how they do it. That can be a little bit much, if that's even real. It could be. How that works is another story. We have stargates, things like that. Of course, say it's all fiction, but you know, there's obviously we have visitors here, so anything's possible. So it's just we're not custom. We're not high ranking enough. That's all. So you just never know. Of course, there's a shadow government that wants to. They can run our government through the military. Of course, technically, it's running it now. That's why we got Biden there. So anything's possible, of course. So the sentient reality also it's about like seeing the future, like possible scenarios we can go through, like Earth changes, and you can imagine the government does some kind of just they try to predict the future. Of course, they create the future too, but they're also trying to predict it to a certain level. So CERN doing who knows what that's doing, open up portals and messing with the timelines. So of course, many aren't going to be able to tap into it. That's either way. It does feel like CERN can cause weather anomalies and cause all kinds of stuff, but anyway, we're still here. All right. Come on. Okay, then I'm talking about comment pro sessions. We have schedule. We have a shop here. Webinar, social network, behind the scenes, and the archive. And then, where'd he go? Okay. So you have the. Let's see. Go to the beginning of it. Well, it's hard to say, but either way, these type of beings, I don't know. It looks pretty. He's going behind a rock and everything. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how CGI isn't that good. Went to his little cave there. If there's anything else to it. I don't know. Well, the thing is, he's walking. He's walking behind rocks. I mean, is that a fake rock? I mean, it looks pretty. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. Either way, those type of things do exist. If that's real or not. Yeah, it's hard to tap into that stuff because uh, even with ships, they're not always easy to pick up on. Depending on, I mean, there's energy. There's alien energy on some of these ships, but you can't always tell if it's real or not because there is some kind of alien residue there. So it depends on how it's. But either way, it doesn't matter. I think more real UFOs are seen than the fake ones, though. But then when you see it in the TV and all that, some of that's more probably our stuff somewhere in the lines, or well, it's not our stuff; it's shadow government stuff. Okay, all right. Going to the Pentagon energies and to see what they have to say, and obviously, there's only so far I can go with this. And going to the Goblin and Earth 2, Second Earth, simulation, Sentinel World Simulation. Yeah, it's like it's just like an AI trying to see the future, you can say. Anyway, we're not going to connect to AI, but anyway. All right, blessings. Greece is the energies of the Pentagon. Of course, there's UFO knowledge there. Of course, they're not going to make it all public for obvious reasons. Because they don't really know. Yeah, they don't really know what it is. Not everyone's talking to each other. Obviously, there are some that do know. We can call them the Men in Black. That's probably the better. That does keep many from speaking. Well, there's a blockage. You can call it a Men in Black blockage. They're the ones keeping the true information hidden. Of course, they're in the Pentagon. They have top secret clearance. They can do whatever they want. The G-men, you can say. Of course, there's females too, but we'll just call them Men in Black. So that's keeping a lot of this information muzzled. So you're seeing some kind of leaks. That was inevitable anyway. And of course, there's going to be, and this is all done by design, kind of weaponized against the public too, because it's another manipulation going on until they figure out how to deploy this, if they even have a plan at this point of how they're going to, if ever, explain the phenomenon. They're going to drag it out as long as they can. We don't know what it is. But as for the Men in Black frequency that's connecting to this, obviously there are several plans of how they plan on delivering it, but no time soon. Beings from space that they have control over. And there's going to march on what? Not likely. It'll probably go to like a foreign country and start. You get these like weird, tales of alien UFO energies like this country you never probably heard of, or a small town country, and then no one will think anything of it, and then little by little it'll start to become a larger, I won't call it a threat or it's testing. Now, are these beings real or not? Now there's also some of them are real and some of them won't be real. So look at it that way. But obviously it's not activated yet. So if there's any type of scenario, this is one of them. Yeah, think of like a foreign country that no one's really heard about, Belarus or somewhere, just like most of it's like, we have no idea what this place is. And all of a sudden, the people are saying we saw ships, we saw some kind of beings, or probably most likely ships, and it was just more than usual. And it didn't look like they were human, like saucer energies. At least to give you some scenario of it. And some of you can probably pick up on those frequencies. Well, that's a possibility. That's one testing phase, at least. As for, to see if they bring, and then they'll go away. And it might come back. They're going to analyze that for a while and then decide if they want to go further with it. So, and it's going to be in the public. Public will see it, will be real. Like I said, there'll be some real beings there and some that are a part of government. Just because the alien beings here do not want to. They are watching this very closely. They're not ignorant of any of it. And they're going to, if there's not going to be any type of connection with human and alien races, they're going to be very careful. So another way of looking at this is it'll be just as you're going through now, more hearsay. There will be, just more activity in the future, but still a mystery. But more of townspeople will see it. Like I said, countries you've never heard of. Most of you have never heard of. Not likely China. China is too weaponized. Too much going on there. Eventually, but China realize this is all by design. And China is not exactly working with everybody. They have to go to countries where they can manipulate it. And China's not making that easy. Now they can do their own stuff, possibly, but not likely, because they don't trust anybody at this point. always on a country. Yeah, they don't trust the U.S. at all for with good reason. Well, they're stealing from each other, so that's why. It's not just it's not just it's both of them. They're just not playing well on any field. But as for Pentagon, so obviously there's officials in the Pentagon that are well aware of kind of they know when things are going to happen before they happen. That's more of the Men in Black, you know, wall you can say. And sometimes there might be leaks, but they're done on purpose. Usually, at least through the Pentagon. Obviously, they can't make it public. You never know. It might reach the public just to prepare the public for what's to come. This doesn't mean it's going to be an alien invasion. I'm not ready for that. But these are like possible scenarios, is what we're mentioning right now. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to be anytime soon. But there's a UFO office. They're just going to be watching the same things over and over again. They're going to get any answers throughout the government. I mean, they just say, no, can't answer that. Don't talk to us anymore. Somebody like Rubio and things like that might try to find some whistleblowers. But they're not really going to get very far with it. But it is heating up. But maybe not as quickly as somebody would like to. But it is showing you're going to a new era. But not quickly. It's kind of like you're talking about, as probably mentioned here before, through the New World. The New World is being spot, and that's what this is. But it's not quite ready yet. It's for obvious reasons. Now, society, so we can skip a little bit. So, this is society ready? Well, it's going to be more like newsworthy. Obviously it's going to be hearsay, or no, the mainstream won't believe. If the mainstream starts reporting, obviously that's more government influence. Then they definitely want it out there. But they're holding back a lot for obvious reasons. Well, they don't have their story straight yet. They don't know what to do yet. Yeah, well, I can say they have versions of what they want to do, but it hasn't been fully like what are you going to get out of it either if they're going to get anything out of it. So that hasn't been quite figured out yet. Ways for us to bring up. Let's put it that way. Well, there has to be an agenda. If they're going to allow alien activity here, what is it for them? So they're not going to reveal that though. Government contracts, Lockheed Martin. Of course, they're already getting a lot as it is. But yeah, more like the alien war. It doesn't mean it's going to be a war with aliens at a time. No. They're not quite ready for that. Can have been a few. It's possible, but a lot of alien beings want nothing to do with that. Yeah, Earth, this planet would lose instantly. It's already losing anyway, technically. So yeah, they're careful about that one. Greetings. This is a Goblin consciousness. Always for information. It's these little critters when are we can say allowed to come out more often. Obviously, they're out. They're out usually when there's no one around. Normally, they can sense when people are seeing them, but sometimes they do want to be seen. As for a goblin frequency, usually they're not the tallest. I mean, in human form, because obviously they're incarnated as humans here too. Usually just like 5 feet tall people, or five. Some of them are not all 5. Some of them are just very short. Yeah, sometimes lack of hair, lack of patience, sometimes manipulative, kind of like the bullies of your school to a certain level, kind of like scavengers, like to just pick up garbage, things like that. Some of them are also hoarders. Just for certain, like some of their caves, on a goblin size, filled with all crystals and things they found all over the place. And as a human, they can be a hoarder because they're confused here. So, but as for the goblin frequencies, the Garthian beings have all type of energies. That goblins are not exactly the easiest to deal with. Yes, there's sometimes tall goblins, short ones. They're not always a manipulative frequency, but yeah, they're known for it. Well, if you're a more positive goblin being, it's not easy being around in that family because they're so yes, very vindictive. They're mind controlling, and the more positive goblin beings are just trying to shut down manipulations of their family units. But they can be very powerful magically. But usually, goblins they have a lower frequency, but they're very manipulative. Gangs they can run, or they're the ones that fix things. They can repair a lot. They're just very like beings nobody can understand. So, but they're definitely around, and they don't really have much to say either. We'll just leave it at that. Nonsense. Greetings. Well, yeah, the consciousness of your other versions of your Earth is your government tapping it to a certain level. They're not quite understanding it. Some might feel like they're a little bit more advanced, but not really. But there's definitely other versions of Earth that are watching your world very closely. And some are manipulating it. Yes, they come through portals and manipulate your. Obviously, they're not going to make it known here. It's not. Yeah, a portal doesn't open up; they just show up. Sometimes they just appear out of nowhere. To give you some idea, time travelers do the same thing. So, and your government trying to figure out where some of these people are showing up from, where they're coming from, things like that. So, if you think they have it quite figured out, I mean, obviously there's a shadow government here. What was this? This is very classified. We can't tap into all of it. You just use your own intuition there of how advanced it's getting. But think about people appearing out of nowhere. Even your time slowing down, speeding up, why certain events occur, why certain events happen in your news. A lot of that let's say it's not a lot. Well, it can be influenced from other realities. Let's put it that way. So think of like another Earth, yes, controlling yours. A lot more advanced, and it's just that they're waiting for this world to evolve so they can see other dimensions and other versions of Earth, but they're not about to reveal themselves as of yet. So your planet, some of your government energies are getting better at seeing the future to a certain level with scenarios. Like there's like hundreds of them though. It's hard to really tell. That's why sometimes it's better if things are just slow. Even the presidential election, sometimes they see the future of that, and sometimes they go by it. It's like, oh wait, this person's supposed to win, so I guess we'll just give it to them. I know it sounds a little strange there, but that's one point of view. Let's put it that way. So yeah, dabbling with the future, other versions. First off, yeah, we don't see your version of Earth that clear of the other versions as some might think. It's it's like certain people that are high up have a better idea, but I think they even tap into it. They have interactions with other Earth beings. Sounds a little strange there, not done publicly, obviously. And some of you have actually tapped into it and now you know it. Well, some of you see other versions of Earth, like in your dream state. It's not just fear you're seeing; you might be seeing other versions. It's like watching television, but you're doing it astral, but you're actually seeing it happen. So, and human trafficking energy is connected to another version of Earth, also to keep the vibrations of this planet low, done by design. Why children are disappearing, other places they're going to. That this other version of Earth has no reason to tell you of anything about itself as of yet. And sometimes these traffic kids aren't abused, but some of you is taken to other places, other planets. Obviously, can't prove any of that physically for obvious reasons. But with it happening at the rate that it's happening, anything is possible. Let's put it that way. They're not all here. Well, when they leave this world, well, I don't know where they went. It's not that well known. Yeah, because it just it gets kind of complicated there. But the other versions of Earth, some of you can tap into a certain frequency of it. Yeah, it might not have the best intentions, no. Well, they're fearful of your Earth, because your Earth can cause their Earth a lot of problems. So they're kind of keeping a beat on it. It's very complicated when you think about it. It's not really for, normal conversations you can say. Yeah, it's pretty out there. But it is all possible, yes. On a physical level, it's hard to determine, but I have a lot of mysteries here, a lot of timelines that don't make any sense, and a lot of it has to do with who's watching your world.